Hey everyone, welcome back for another video. As always, leaving a comment is appreciated. You leaving a like is even more appreciated, and you subscribing is the most appreciatedness in the world. Welcome back to another News I Missed, where I go over news I missed. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. NBA star LeBron James and his LeBron James Family Foundation, or LJFF, have partnered with cryptocurrency platform Crypto to launch a series of educational and job training initiatives about Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, and related technologies. They said through this partnership, I promise, which is the name of the thing, not, he didn't say I promise. Students and families will get a strong foundation in Web3 and innovations behind blockchain-based decentralized applications, powering the future of many sectors from finance to media to art. LJFF's I Promise program serves more than 1,600 students and their entire families with family programming and fundamental resources to help them be successful in school and beyond. Initiatives of the program include the I Promise School, which has created a new model for public education, I Promise Institute, which provides resources for higher education and family supports, I Promise Village, that serves traditional housing, I Promise Housing, offering long-term affordable housing, and House 330, where job training and financial health programming efforts are explored. I had assumed that this would have actually been more popular news. Usually, whenever we get any type of celebrity, sports megastar who enters the cryptocurrency space in some sort of way, it usually makes mega headlines. But alas, this was quite sparse throughout the course of the week. I love it. I hope that more things like this end up launching. I've mentioned before, a lot of times whenever we hear from regulators, just one box, just regulators, that cryptocurrencies are bad, cryptocurrencies are dangerous, cryptocurrencies are used by only XY type of person. I've always said it would be great if a government actually took the initiative to make a program or an online resource where everyone could go to learn about not only the dangers, but also the potential benefits of cryptocurrencies, the cryptocurrency space, the actual adoption of them. What's the point of using them? Why do we have them? But of course, that goes against the entire idea of what governments are, as they are the ones printing money. And the idea of Bitcoin is to get away from that system because it has basically destroyed the entire economic prosperity for much of the world. So I think this is rather cool. I am certain that this is going to benefit a huge amount of people. I would love if other celebrities also did the exact same thing. Like, imagine a world where if you spoke to someone saying, hey, you should look into Bitcoin, they didn't simply shy away or get terrified by it. They went, hey, I actually learned about that before. I'm currently in the market, and I'm also trying to help educate other people as well about how to get into the cryptocurrency space. So yeah, this should have been more popular news, but it was not the most popularist news of the week. But I'm still very happy that something like this is happening, and it'll actually allow tons of people who should be in the market to actually get into the space and probably create huge amounts of wealth for them and their families over the next 10, 15, and or 20 years. Fantastic. And yeah, let's move on. Next up, I find this quite fascinating, and I'll tell you exactly why. A recent report by U.S. crypto exchange Coinbase has examined the outlook for Ethereum in the face of competition from Solana, Avalanche, and Terra. As you might have noticed over the last couple of months, maybe a little bit longer at this point, Solana is constantly in the news, especially was also in the news a couple of days ago, as Coinbase not only added Solana, but also a lot of Solana-based coins, and a lot of people have been discussing if Solana is going to be the coin that is actually able to dethrone Ethereum, because over the course of the past 5 or so years, a number of coins, I want to say about 9 or 10, have been released, have come out, and all with the expectation that they would actually push Ethereum to the side. So now Coinbase has actually released a report discussing if Solana can actually push Ethereum to the side. According to a report titled, "Is ETH 2.0 the real Ethereum killer?" by David Duong, Coinbase's head of institutional research, Ethereum's high gas fees, which is presumably due to the high demand for DeFi and NFTs, allowed its competitors to receive significant attention last year. However, the majority of active app development across Layer 1 networks still seems to be happening on the Ethereum blockchain, with total value locked of $156 billion across 214 projects. Wow. Which is almost double the TVL of the next 10 chains combined. For those of you who are a little, maybe, the idea is that, and I mentioned this before, it's also happening for Bitcoin. A lot of people were confused, and I hope that many people are not anymore, as to why Bitcoin is still the #1 coin, regardless of it being so slow. And I told you, we're not going to go over it in this video, of all the metrics for Bitcoin and its actual success and why it continues to remain the #1 coin. A lot of people usually then point to the idea that, well, there are tons of other blockchains that are faster, stronger, quicker, more robust potentially than Ethereum. Why is anyone still using Ethereum? It's because it's been built up over the course since like 2015, 2016. It is the most used blockchain in the world, and regardless of the fees, it is not going to cause a cascade of people leaving its market, at least not now, when we have indications that Ethereum is going to upgrade and continue upgrading potentially every single year until whenever they decide to stop doing everything that they've been talking about. But the demand is still there and is going to continue to be there. If you've been here for a couple of years, you might remember I mentioned a while ago, if you do not know what the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance is, please look up the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance. You will find about 500 companies, many of which you know or probably have household items of them in your own house, who have announced years ago that they not only support Ethereum, they will be using Ethereum, they are going to be building on top of Ethereum, etc., etc. And this is where a huge amount of the money is coming from. So the question is, how valuable will these rival Layer 1 networks be to the future once Ethereum 2.0 is actually here? Duong and his team believe that there will still be some room for multiple chains to coexist in the crypto space for the reasons outlined below. This is a lot of text. I'm not reading through all of this. It says, first, the timeline for official Ethereum 2.0 implementation has shifted forward to 2023. This is the news that we got. Sometime in Q2 of this year, we're supposed to get Ethereum 2.0. And then as the months roll on, there are going to be other upgrades that actually completely roll out. And then sometime next year, we're supposed to get the full kit and caboodle of Ethereum 2.0. And in the interim, alternative Layer 1s may step in to do what the Ethereum network either takes too long to do or costs too much to do. That said, the advent of Ethereum-centric Layer 2 solutions, L2s, now play an outsized role in increasing throughput and reducing fees. I do wholeheartedly believe that we are going to live in a world where multiple chains exist. There was a point, I say in 2017, where it seemed absolutely conceivable that Bitcoin was going to be the only coin. I do believe that Bitcoin is going to, for a long time, remain the dominant chain forever, especially as we get more upgrades rolling through these other systems. Sorry, I think the sun just disappeared. Sorry if it's getting like darker and darker in here. I can't actually tell. I think it's going to remain the dominant chain. However, Ethereum is also going to be very high up there in the rankings, but these other chains are going to serve a huge purpose. If we cannot get to a 1 million transaction per second Ethereum within the next 3 to 5 years, the demand is going to be so high that people are going to start using these other chains. And this is why I think Solana and many other projects continue to see an uptick in actual movement within their markets and their prices and their actual usage. Because, just to be realistic, if one chain currently can't do it all, well, you have to go somewhere to actually find one that can. Here's the report right here. It says Coinbase Institutional Market Intelligence, is ETH 2.0 the real ETH killer? And it goes on. I don't have to scroll through the entire thing, but it's more to show you the news right there. Yeah, kind of interesting. And also to put the last cherry on top, I found it quite interesting that Coinbase released something talking about a discussion where could other blockchain products potentially overtake Ethereum. For those of you who once again don't remember, it is believed, and we've seen before on the news, that apparently the higher ups in Ethereum in Coinbase actually absolutely love Ethereum. So I don't assume that they'd be saying many things negative about Ethereum because, you know, they probably have a lot of it. Alrighty, let's move on. Next up, a state senator has introduced a bill in Arizona to make Bitcoin legal tender. Although the United States federal law does not allow states to create their own currencies, the bill may spark an interesting discussion. Apparently, it is State Senator Wendy Rogers who put this bill forward. I will tell you right now, this is probably not going to happen. If it does happen, I think my entire perception of the world and what it actually is will have completely been flipped onto its head. But the idea of the U.S. actually allowing something like this is probably going to be a complete no-go. However, these bills are starting to roll out around the world where people are trying their hands at making their city, their town, their state, not necessarily their country in all cases like El Salvador, but actually seeing if Bitcoin can become legal tender. Within the United States, in actual state, I do not think this is going to take place. But I think we're going to start seeing a lot of cities popping up as like Bitcoin hubs, where Bitcoin is kind of the main currency over the next 10 years that is actually being used. But this was, I mean, I'm going to use the word popular, but like with a very lowercase p, just to kind of, you know, it was around. But if you think realistically, this is probably not going to take place. But I mean, good luck trying. All right. Let's move on. Here's a very interesting one that a lot of people did not talk about. Meta, the world's biggest social media platform, has filed a trademark registration with the Brazilian authorities to design, develop, and provision hardware and software for various Bitcoin and crypto-related services. Meta recently rebranded from Facebook as a move to better align with the metaverse. Accelerating this effort, Meta filed a trademark registration with the Brazilian National Institute of Industry Property, or INPI, for crypto products and services related to trading, wallets, and exchange platforms. Further investigation from Cointelegraph revealed a translated version of the specifications below. It's like 1,000 pieces of words right here. I mean, if you can try and read that, then bless your heart, because that's a lot going on. It says design, development, and implementation of software for third-party verification services for digital currency transactions, including, but not limited to, transactions involving Bitcoin currency. Do you remember in 2019, part of the discussion was that Facebook was going to be creating their own cryptocurrency called Libra? Got it. And then they made it into Diem. Got it. And Diem was recently sold to another company as they have kind of thrown their hands into the air. One of the main things that I thought was quite fascinating that a lot of people also didn't catch on to is that allegedly the people from Facebook announced that their original intent, it is getting quite dark in here, okay? It's not just me. I forgot to turn the light on. Announced that basically their original intent was to use Bitcoin and not to create a new currency. I'm not sure how much I believe that. I assume that a company would stand to benefit far more from creating their own currency than using Bitcoin. Besides the point. So, even after they just recently sold Diem a couple of days ago, Jack Dorsey and many other people berated, screamed at Meta/Facebook for even thinking about trying to create another currency, with Jack Dorsey telling them you should have just focused on Bitcoin from the get-go. So the news that we have right now is that Facebook, now Meta, is in Brazil trying to trademark Bitcoin and cryptocurrency services. And the speculation is that they're going to, here's the actual patent right here, that they're going to be using Bitcoin in this country to actually flow through Meta as a form of payment, especially as, this is crazy, especially as we've seen more companies not only accepting Bitcoin, but also other cryptocurrencies, but also actually implementing and upgrading and using the Lightning Network, which I think by the end of this year is going to be absolutely massive as one of the only real ways, wow, to actually, so for those of you who don't know, I just had another hot chocolate and I can like feel it like really kicking in because I can't stop talking quickly. Basically, long story short, as the patent stands right now, do not be surprised if over the next couple of weeks, we end up getting more news that Meta is actually doing this in multiple other countries to actually use Bitcoin services to actually flow through their systems. Even the fact that this is going through just even a massive country like Brazil should, I think, have made far greater news than it actually did. But yeah, let's see what I give it by the end of this year. Once many of these metaverses have begun to launch and Meta's metaverse launches sometime this year, we should have a pretty clear idea of how they plan on making extra money, because realistically, if they can't use DM anymore, they're going to have to find some other way for people to be able to transact on their platform. And if they do it in Bitcoin, well, get ready for a price increase. Yeah, crazy, right? I know, yeah. Alrighty, let's move on. And to finish things off, on Monday, Vaneck, a financial institution with close to $82 billion in assets under management with exchange-traded funds, mutual funds, and institutional accounts, announced why did I not turn the line on? Announced the launch of its first cryptocurrency fund. The fund is listed as an exchange-traded note, or an ETN, on the Deutsche Börse Extra and 6 Swiss exchanges with exposure to Bitcoin, Ethereum, Polkadot, Solana, Tron, that's a weird one, Avalanche, and Polygon. Guy Koning, co-head of Vaneck Europe, elaborated on why it was important for the firm to facilitate investments in digital currencies. He said in early 2017, we determined that digital assets could provide a store of value alternative to currencies and gold, as well as a host of technology solutions that could bring down costs in the payments and investing industries. While Vaneck's cryptocurrency financial products are gaining traction in Europe, they face regulatory hurdles in the United States. There, the firm's offerings are limited to private digital currency funds for institutional investors and only stock-based ETFs comprised of companies utilizing blockchain technology. So the news is, Vaneck before, here's the actual press release for it right here. Vaneck before, I think twice, has tried for a Bitcoin ETF within the United States. It was abundantly clear that it was not going to actually launch because the US SEC is special. So they've launched one in Europe between Germany and also Switzerland, but I assume other people within the European Union are also going to be able to have exposure to this because that's how the European Union works. So yeah, this is absolutely incredible. Like, imagine having a Bitcoin ETF, but like on steroids, completely pumped up because you have so many other things that you can also invest in at the exact same time, especially all the popular coins. And this is why I like had a question mark when it said Tron, because I was like, Tron isn't that popular anymore. But alas, yeah, this is going to continue happening over and over all the time because as long as the US continues to make sure that they give away money or won't allow people to work in their borders, I don't know what you want me to say there, this will continue to happen. So I think there are now 11 ETFs/ETNs around the world that deal in physical Bitcoin, and it's not going to slow down anytime soon. Yeah, I do hope that you've all enjoyed. I do hope that you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope that it is absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening English. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.